All right, Monarchs, welcome to the third and final video for the lesson 3.6, solving absolute value equations. There will be a homework help video after this, so stay tuned for that, but we will finish both of these, and this is the last part of the notes, okay? So typically if we were in class, we would have you guys try these on your own. That's why they're called try these, but obviously we're not, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do them and you guys can follow along. Okay, so first, we need to check to see if our absolute value equation is isolated. And it is. There's nothing on the same side of the equals sign as my absolute value equation. So I know that now that it's isolated, I can split this into two equations. Okay. So my first one is going to be set equal to a positive 7. So I have x plus 2 equals 7. Okay. My second one will be set equal to a negative 7. So I'll have x plus 2 equals negative 7. Remember, when we split these up, we always set one equal to a positive and one equal to a negative. Okay, so this is my one that's equal to a positive. This is my one that's equal to a negative. All right, so now I just solve these like I normally would. So I'm going to subtract 2 because that's a positive 2. And I need to do the opposite to get rid of it or to move it to the other side of the equals sign. And I want to get x by itself. And right now it's on the same side as my x. So positive 2 minus 2 is 0. I'm left with x equals, and 7 minus 2 would be 5. Okay, so one of my answers is x equals 5. My other answer, let's figure out really quickly. Same as this side, I need to subtract this 2 from both sides because right now it's on the same side as my x. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides of my equals sign. Okay, 2 minus 2 is 0. I bring down my x, bring down my equal sign, and negative 7 minus 2 would be negative 9. Okay. Okay, so now let's move on to the next example. Okay, so for these ones, if you're showing me your answers, you would just box both of the answers that you found. So let's look at number 2. As you can see, it's a little bit different than number 1. We do have something that we will need to move before we can split our equation or our absolute value up into two equations. And that's because this negative 6 is on the outside of this absolute value, and anything that's on the outside of the absolute value, we have to move before we can solve. Okay, so in order to move this, we're going to do the opposite. So I'm going to do plus 6 and plus 6. The opposite of negative 6 will be a plus 6. So those cancel out. Now I'm left with 8. So I have the absolute value of x minus 3 equals 8. Okay, now I can split this into two separate equations. So I'm going to use my other color. So now I can split this into x minus 3 equals 8. And the other one, remember I need to do my negative, x minus 3 equals negative 8. Okay, so I got rid of this negative 6 by adding it to both sides. And now I split up my equation into my two separate equations. One's equal to a positive, one's equal to a negative. So in order to move that negative 3, I need to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 3. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 8 plus 3 is 11. So I get x equals 11 for one of my answers. Same thing over here. I'm going to add 3, add 3. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Negative 8 plus 3 would be negative 5. So my two answers are x equals negative 5 or x equals 11. Okay, so that one was pretty straightforward as well. The only extra step we had to do was we had to move that negative 6 to the other side of the equal sign before we could split our absolute value up. So thank you guys for watching. Please stay tuned for the homework help video for worksheet